This week, on an all-new episode of Crap or Craptastic, we have an amazing movie from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Yes, that is right. We are going to be reviewing Rampage, and we're going to be telling you whether or not this movie is a craptastic gem or a big steaming pile of monkey poop. I'm Brian West.
And I'm Ryan Thomason.
And we are ready to dive into this.
We're literally going to dive in, hit the surface, and then just get the hell out of that water.
To a movie of epic proportions. This movie came out earlier this year, and it stars, like I said, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, directed by Brad Payton. Also stars Naomi Harris and a whole bunch of other people. Negan, one of the girls from The Watchmen, and some other people. Stars a giant gorilla.
It was one of those The Rock movies that was sandwiched between like the other 6 Rock movies that came out. So you're like,
yeah, what is it? I mean, there's literally like 7 Rock movies out right now.
You're like, is this like that one skyscraper one that's coming out, or is
this the one where he has no leg, or the one where he's in the jungle? I don't know. Well, you know what? All of the above. This movie is based on the video game that came out like in the 80s, or I think it's the 80s.
Very, very loosely.
Yeah, very loosely based. I actually thought they did a pretty good job of incorporating all the things from the game, which here are the things from the game. People turn into monsters, a giant wolf, a giant lizard, and a giant gorilla, and they smash buildings and eat people, and then you have to push the button fast enough they change back to a person and run away. That was the entire game. And honestly, that's about the entire plot of this movie.
Yeah, just there's no people turning into monsters.
No, there's no people. There's actually like genetically mutated. I don't know. We're not going to spoil this movie for you guys or anybody who wants to see it. But we're going to talk about it obviously a little bit. So you've been warned. But it takes place.
The gorilla's the obvious one. I mean, they've shown that a bunch of times.
Yeah, they're showing the trailer. There's like a green mist, a genetic modifying that goes on where. They get sprayed in the faces of these animals, and they obviously turn into giant murder machines.
Yes.
And only one man in a helicopter can stop them, and it's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
And his lady friend.
Okay, this movie is ridiculous. Literally all phases, and I think it kind of works because it knows it's ridiculous, and it never tries to not be ridiculous.
It's just a point how ridiculous it got. They cast I can't remember his name that plays Negan. I mean, he was the comedian in The Watchmen and stuff like that. But it's basically like they're like, all right, so
Jeffrey Dean Morgan, by the way.
Yes, like so
from Seattle, Washington. Woo!
It's like you play Negan in The Walking Dead. We want you to basically play the exact same character.
But without a bat and leather.
And without a bat and less murdering. And that was basically his character in this movie. Like, I can't even remember what his character's name was, because every time he said something, I was like, oh, it's Negan.
All I remember is that he had like his gun at a weirdly placed point in the front of his belt.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will say this. There's some really good moments in this movie. I thought the special effects were really good for the most part. There's some pretty kind of terrifying moments. The first time we see the wolf is actually pretty.
Yeah,
it's very suspenseful and has some horror moments to it. There's a lot more murder in this movie than I thought was gonna be when I first watched it. I bought this movie on digital, and we watched it as a family movie. I got a 9-year-old and a 5-year-old. It wasn't too much for them, but it was definitely, there was times when they were like, ugh. There's a lot of death in this. People get eaten quite often.
Especially at the very end, where the gorilla just like picks her up and
just chomps her down. Yeah. There's like I said, there's the 3 monsters in this. The gorilla is basically just a big gorilla. Then it gets to the wolf, who gets crazier because they genetically modify these. Well, there's also a giant rat in the beginning who's kind of. That whole opening part was pretty...
Like on the space station?
Yeah, there's like a giant rat in space. That was actually kind of scary.
But the space station exploded and like nobody knew.
Well, yeah, and I don't think you don't have explosions like that in space. Wouldn't it just implode?
Well, yeah, so watching like all the watching The Expanse.
I listen to way too much Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I mean, there's like a giant rat. I mean, it's pretty suspenseful. I knew this movie's gonna be a little violent when you see like there's like arms and like hands, like severed hands floating around in space, and you're like, ugh. But you know, I don't know. Listen, this is a typical Dwayne the Rock Johnson movie. It's light on plot and really like smart thinking, and big on action and the Rock running around just being the Rock, right?
Yeah, and they throw in comedy where they think it might work, even if it doesn't. They just do it. And,
I will say this. They did a really good job with the gorilla. He was my favorite character in this movie.
Well, yeah, obviously the gorilla is the best character.
The gorilla speaks sign language. Never once do you buy that the Rock... You buy that he might be a special forces, but you never buy that he's like a monkey primatologist. You're like...
primatologist.
I mean, literally at one point he gets shot, and she's like, oh, I thought you got shot. And he goes... I think they missed all my vital organs, but you know, don't jinx me. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, listen, I'm not crapping
like,
on this movie.
In the next scene, he's just like running. He's
running full
like,
bore. You know what? I'm not going to crap on this. I grew up in the 80s. Arnold Schwarzenegger took more shots to the chest from shotguns and you name it, and still managed to soldier on. So I'm not holding it against him in this movie. My favorite scene, though, is the scene you've seen in the trailer when the monkey like becomes good again, but he's still giant, and him and the Rock are like, let's go kick some ass. It's like the Rock and the gorilla versus a flying crazy wolf. And like, I don't even know what the fucking crocodile was. It's like this crocodile.
Yeah. It's like a weird mutated. Like,
well, you know what I thought was strange?
Giant teeth coming out of its horns coming out of its head.
There's like a boar crocodile. Here's what I thought was strange about the crocodile is like, so they said they genetically modified all these. The gorilla stayed the gorilla. The wolf was mostly the wolf, but it had like porcupine quills and it could fly. It was like a flying squirrel. But then the crocodile looked I mean, like it was like 9 different animals all in one.
Yeah, it was pretty messed up.
But ultimately, like, here's the thing: this movie is big, stupid fun. It is definitely worth watching.
Emphasis on stupid fun.
Oh yeah, it is not a good movie by any stretch of the imagination. The director Brad Payton and The Rock teamed up most recently for San Andreas. San Andreas is like Shakespeare compared to this movie. That being said, I actually had a lot of fun watching it. I was really entertained. I definitely watch it again. You know, is it worth buying? Like, I bought it. I probably wouldn't recommend spending $20 on it right now. I would recommend maybe waiting for it to hit streaming or when it gets like a rental or when it's in the $5 bin. I would totally buy it at that point. But yeah, I mean, this is a craptastic gem. I mean,
I think
at least for me.
I don't know if I would suggest to watch it more than one time.
No,
that's why I have a hard time calling it craptastic. But I think if you're getting it for like from the Red Box or something like that, or you're renting it, yes, it's a good one night. Just have a really dumb movie, eat some popcorn, and watch it.
It's infinitely better than the last.
For that reason, I will also give it a craptastic rating.
And it's much better than Baywatch. One viewing. It's infinitely better than Baywatch. How about that?
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so check it out. It's available now to buy on digital if you do want to spend the $20. It'll be available on DVD to rent in a couple weeks. So check it out. Dwayne The Rock Johnson in one of the dumbest yet pretty fun movies of the year, Rampage. All right, guys. Until next time, everybody, thanks for watching and stay awesome.
Stay nerdy, everyone.